All right, what is up? You ready? Here, let's see if I can add you. There we go. Yeah,
And
let's go. All right. So this is the Zero Blitz podcast. Right now, streaming on my main channel, CK15. Yeah, but we'll soon get it up to Zero Blitz when we expand more there, and hopefully going through my channel will expand Zero Blitz more. So, anything you want to say before we get in?
happy to be here.
All right. All right. You want to get into the first topic here to start it off?
Sure. What's the first topic?
Running backs importance,
Running
NFL,
back importance.
college. So, like, how important do you think running backs are? Do you think it'll be like running? Should it be running back by committee, or should we pay running backs? Or how do you feel about that? College and NFL, both. Well, college wise, you can't really pay, but NFL wise, you can pay. Like, should you overpay?
Well, we can pay running backs by each player, like we normally do for every single player. It's just for the importance wise, like the obvious answer, running backs are very, very important to the sport. And they're very, very important for the running game, but I feel like they're slowly going to continually get slower and slower and slower and less more importance, right? This as the game goes on, 50 years ago, running backs were the number one overall draft pick. They were, they're the highest paid overall player, and they're by far the most important player on the football team. But now you see players like the Bills with the air raid of Josh Allen, or you have the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and used to be Tyreek Hill. Whereas running backs aren't as important anymore as it used to be. Everyone's slowly switching to the pass game.
So, do you think teams paying players like Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Zeke Elliott, do you think that should be a thing, or do you think that running back should be like plug in, kind of like after that rookie year, just go in and get a new running back?
I think it's just like every other player. It matters how well they're doing, how the performance per money is. If they're not performing very well or they're getting injured a lot, then just get rid of them. But if they're being very successful, like Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, players that really carry the team, if you want to say it that way, then I think they absolutely deserve all the money in the world.
So when talking about running backs and players and whatever, you look at Ezekiel Elliott and is it Tony Pollard? How that Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott average yards per carry. Zeke was, I think, 3.5 last year, whereas Pollard was 4.5 yards per carry. So
Well, then
do
you
you
start
think?
looking at this. Go on.
So if you look at like contract wise, like
Yep.
like Zeke's getting paid so much amount of money, right? And then Pollard is
Mm-hmm.
getting paid like bare minimum, right? So
Right.
uh, when that happens, uh, I guess when that happens, should you move on from a running back? See, like if you look at Chris McCaffrey injuries,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Derrick Henry just recently got injured last year, but I mean I think he'll be a great player, still be great. But look at Zeke and you look at McCaffrey mostly, they get paid and then they are injured and they keep continually getting injured. So I mean, do you keep paying for running backs, paying that money to running backs?
I would, yes. I don't think it's the running back's fault. I think it's the coach's fault, right? It's the team's fault. Because you look at these running backs who are getting injured the most, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, they are basically the entire offense of that team. Like the Titans barely ever pass the ball. All they do is give it to King Henry, 80% of the time? And then for Christian McCaffrey, they have really only two plays in the playbook. Hand it off to Christian McCaffrey or throw it to Christian McCaffrey. That's it. So of course he's going to get injured because he has the ball every single play. I think absolutely still pay them, but I mean, I feel bad for the running backs themselves because they're getting injured and spending these thousands upon thousands of dollars for a mistake that the coaches are making.
All right, fair point. Fair point on that. Do you think Derrick Henry will be the same after the injury? Do you think he'll end up like a Christian McCaffrey getting injured every single year?
I think the specific part of the foot that he broke will be a little more, bad. Might get injured more often in the future. But I think he's going to come back as strong, if not stronger, next year. And as long as he does pretty good for the next few years and doesn't keep on wearing down his body too much, because the older you get, the more injured you will get. So he needs to play the smart game more as he gets older and older every single year. Tom Brady does that. When does Tom Brady ever scramble? Because he's too old. If he gets blown on too hard, he's just going to evaporate.
Yeah, fair point. So if you look at the Titans record with Derrick Henry, it was 6-2, and without Derrick Henry, the Titans record was 6-3. Uh, do how much of a role do you think running backs play in an offense? Just like the big time running backs compared to your backup running backs that you don't pay as much. Do you think that
Hmm.
matters more in playoffs, or do you think that's more of a regular season thing with running the ball?
I think it's both. It just matters the type of offense you run. That smash mouth offense with the Titans is as important in the regular season as it is in the postseason. It's just the only problem with the downside of using the smash mouth football the Titans use is that in the playoffs you have more competitive, tighter games. And if you have the ball with a minute and a half left, it's hard to run that smash mouth offense when you have, two timeouts and 85 yards the field to go in 64 seconds. Well, the Chiefs can do it in 13 seconds.
Yeah. I see where you're at with the whole running back uh, thing. I don't really know. I'm kind of on the side of running backs. Like Derrick Henry, I can see him getting paid, but players like Zeke and now McCaffrey, like McCaffrey's the whole entire offense for the Panthers, but after him getting paid, he's been so injury prone. I don't know. It's kind of a sketchy territory because I feel honestly if I like the whole running back by committee thing. So after the 4 years, of your rookie deal, because I think it mostly matters. What mostly matters for running is offensive linemen. So I feel like if you pick up a dude like in like the sixth round, right, a running back, you put him
Mm-hmm.
in, he can do just as good running as Le'Veon Bell did back on the Pittsburgh Steelers when they had that great offensive line when Le'Veon Bell was there. And then you go and you switch in and you put in, I don't know, a different running back. I feel like a different running back could thrive with that offensive line.
Yeah, yeah. That's really how running backs succeed is the offensive line. It's almost impossible to succeed without an offensive line. Christian McCaffrey does it, but that's why he gets injured every week and a half, because as soon as he gets the ball, he's already getting destroyed by some NFL linebacker.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next topic then?
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
All right. Next topic is the Baker Mayfield trade. We need to go over the Baker Mayfield trade here.
All right. Now, with Baker Mayfield, I feel like he's getting a little too much hate for how he is. Like, yeah, his progression is not being very progressive, even though he's in the progressive commercials. He keeps on getting worse and worse and worse every single year. But people are starting to act like he's suddenly absolute terrible. His stats don't look very good, but if you watch the games, a lot of these plays, they're not terrible plays, but they're just plays that if he made a different decision, he would get a lot of praise. He would be amazing. But I just feel like he's getting a little too overhated, right? He still turned around this Browns franchise who went 1-31 over a 2-year stretch and making the playoffs and winning the division. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Baker Mayfield's getting overhated. I feel like last year he was playing with a hurt shoulder, right? He
Yeah.
wasn't he wasn't as good throughout the year. He was just trying to get his team to win. And
Mm-hmm.
look at the Browns without Mayfield. Like once Mayfield got in, they started winning. They started becoming a good team. He got them into the playoffs for the first time in so many years. He also got
Yeah.
them a playoff win in so many years. So I don't know why you do that to some guy and like just go trade for a freaking sex. I'm not even gonna say that, but for a dude that's not so not the
Well,
best. We're gonna
I
put
don't
it
blame
that
the
way.
Browns. I'm not going to blame the Browns too much. In my opinion, I think Deshaun Watson is better than Baker Mayfield, and I think
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
Browns do
Deshaun
the
is
right thing here. Because the biggest concern with
yes.
Baker Mayfield over the last 2 years is that he's basically thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. And that's a major, major problem for a quarterback. It's really, really difficult to win when you just keep on turning the ball over than when you're scoring points.
Yeah, true. But Baker has been a pretty solid quarterback, I think, to complement that run game in
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. I don't
Yeah.
know with all the we can kind of go into the Deshaun Watson thing, but with all the allegations with Deshaun Watson and trading, I don't know why you would have gone out and traded for him instead of just keeping Baker and doing what you've done the past couple years and just building around Baker.
Yeah, it's difficult for a franchise when you keep on getting worse and worse and worse. You want to plan for the future, not for what right now is. So Deshaun Watson, I feel like was going to have a better future as long as we know that he's going to play like what he did before all the allegations. Now we don't know. He hasn't played in what 2 years. That's an issue because we don't know how he is now. But if he plays like he usually is, he's a taller Baker Mayfield. He's a more mobile Baker Mayfield. He has a stronger arm than Baker Mayfield, more accurate arm than Baker Mayfield, tighter spiral than Baker Mayfield. He's just more of a leader than Baker Mayfield. He's just overall a better quarterback.
All right. But how do you let go or like treat Baker like that? Like didn't like how they treated Baker. How do you feel about them? How the Browns have treated Baker?
Well, I thought they didn't officially trade Baker; they just dropped him right now. But they signed Deshaun Watson to their squad, right? And then I
Well,
feel like
I'm saying like
Baker Mayfield.
how do you feel they treated
Oh,
Baker?
how do you think they treated Baker?
Yeah, with the whole Deshaun Watson thing and
Uh, I mean, there's not a whole options they had. They wanted Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield just naturally took that personally. So now Baker Mayfield, which I don't blame him at all, he doesn't want to play for the Browns anymore since they just kicked him to the side of the street and wanted this new quarterback, this hot new young quarterback. So Baker, if I was Baker Mayfield, I would do the exact same thing he's doing right now. I just refuse to play for the Browns now. The way they just built their entire franchise around him and treated him like he was some sort of king, and they just kick him to the side of the road.
so if Baker does get traded to the Panthers, which is being talked about right now, they're talking about Baker being traded to the Panthers, and
It's not going
the
to
Browns
happen.
have to pay half uh, for the contract. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that if that deal gets done, that the Browns will or that the Panthers will not trade Sam Darnold to the Browns. So,
I If
oh,
I'm the Panthers, I don't think I would even trade for Baker Mayfield. You have this brand new quarterback that just came in. He just drafted right out of college. I think he's a pretty solid draft pick. Who they draft? Like you remember who
Matt
it
Corral.
was? Matt
Matt,
Corral. Yeah, out of Ole Miss. Matt Corral has a beautiful arm. Watching him in the SEC play, which brings in another point that he wasn't playing against some terrible players, some Group of Five, some FCS, some Division II players. He's playing against the SEC West, the toughest division in all of football. Right. That's just insane. And he has a great arm, tight spiral, very few interceptions. I think it's perfect for what you're looking for NFL football. He could possibly be even better than Kenny Pickett. He could just be an amazing quarterback. And then if you're looking, maybe you want someone who's more of a veteran, you have Sam Darnold. I think he's enough of a veteran. I mean, he's not very good, but he's a
yeah,
decent leader, right? He's a
yeah,
great guy. He's not a guy that's going to take this personally. He's not a guy that's going to get in the locker room fights. He's a guy that's going to elevate his team and help them win. So then I wouldn't trade for Baker Mayfield. Just no. Waste the money with cap space for Matt Corral, who's probably going to be the starter anyways.
yeah. So if Baker does get traded, where do you think he that place I would suit him the best? Seattle.
I think so. I think Seattle. Because he's not a very mobile quarterback, but Seattle has some decent running backs that can run the ball pretty good, but they can also be like Christian McCaffrey and go out on screens or little short passes that Baker Mayfield can dump it off to. Right? Seattle also has very hard-headed, physical running backs like Marshawn Lynch, although he's not there anymore. But they remind me of Nick Chubb a lot. How he's very physical. He's not very
Is it,
big
is
in
it
size, but he's very physical. and
Is
he
it?
can also go out on little screen passes.
Yeah. All right. So if Baker does get traded to the Seahawks, who do you think wins that starting job between Baker and Locke?
Baker, not a bit like Baker. Locke is terrible. I don't know why he's even in the NFL. I remember watching him in college at Mizzou, and it's just, I mean, he's all right. He'll get the job done, I guess. But I mean, he's maybe better than Sam Darnold. Maybe he's
All
just
right.
not that good.
Any final thoughts on the Baker situation?
I'd be very, very surprised if he isn't picked up somewhere this summer before the season starts. I think he deserves to go somewhere, even if it's a terrible job that's not very good for him. You know, he just rides the bench all season. I think he needs to go somewhere. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if he finally gets picked up.
Who has a better shot, Baker Mayfield or Colin Kaepernick at becoming a
Baker
NFL back?
Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, easily. Colin Kaepernick just hasn't played in 6 years. He can do all the little training camps he wants. He can do all the little mini camps he wants. It's just his career is over. He only just loves that intention and that feeling that he's still relevant and important, but he's not.
So I heard Las Vegas talking to Kaepernick. Do you think another place for Baker would be Las Vegas?
Maybe, but I don't really see it. He's only a little bit younger than Derek Carr. And Derek Carr is a very, very consistent and solid quarterback. Doesn't get injured a whole lot. Doesn't make stupid bonehead decisions. I just don't really see it a whole lot very well.
Do you think there's any other place Baker Mayfield could go besides the Seahawks?
Anyone that's needing a quarterback, back to Houston maybe.
You think
I think
Houston with Davis Mills?
the GOAT, Davis
Hey,
Mills.
hey, Davis Mills was pretty solid. He was like the second best quarterback out of last year's class, behind Mac Jones. I hate saying that, but behind Mac Jones.
Davis
Dude, Davis
Mills,
Mills is the
my
future in
father.
Houston.
He's the future of Houston, going 4-13 every single year, at best.
Exactly. Dude, okay,
It's
you actually put receivers around him. Man's gonna be amazing. All right, you want to move on
Houston.
to the next topic?
Yeah, what's the next one?
All right, the Kyler Murray contract situation.
Good point. Good point. Very, very
All right,
interesting situation because Kyler Murray deserves the money, but the Cardinals need to keep him. But Kyler Murray is very, very greedy. I think. I think he's kind of full of himself a little bit. It's a problem with him. For a very, very good quarterback that he is, and a very, very just all around amazing quarterback, I would even say, he's just a little greedy with the money and contract information. He needs to be more of a team leader. He needs to be in there for the team.
yes. So, did you hear that Kyler's deal would make him the highest paid player in Cardinals history? Is what they're talking about right now.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
the deal.
that's
The
very.
deal.
I can kind of see that though. Cardinals haven't had a long history of having star-studded players. I haven't had a long history of having these amazing Hall of Fame and Pro Bowlers. You know, they've had what? Larry Fitzgerald, Carson Palmer, Kurt Warner. Like nothing incredible, nothing crazy.
You're really gonna say that about Kurt Warner?
Kurt Warner was amazing on the Rams.
Yeah,
Cardinals, he had one lucky year. That's it.
yeah. Fair point. Fair point.
I think
So,
Kyler
do
Murray honestly deserves the money too.
you
I really
think
do.
he deserves the money?
Kyler Murray's a absolute athlete. He's a star.
He's an
He makes
athlete. Does he deserve the money of those top quarterbacks like Mahomes and Rodgers? Does he
I
deserve
don't
that
think he
kind of
does. I don't think he deserves that money, but he's still going to get that money. He
what
deserves
about what about
close to that information.
what about like a Dak contract? Like what about like a
Yeah,
Dak like a Dak?
because Dak is far overpaid. But I mean, I think he's better than Dak Prescott. I would take Kyler Murray in the fantasy draft over Dak Prescott every day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So he easily deserves the more money and a better contract than Dak Prescott. It's just do the Cardinals have that kind of money? I think they do. I think they should pay it. Kyler Murray's young, as long as all his skills too. He's just very young. It's very easy to build a team around him this early.
But what happens if, let's say, the Cardinals do their amazing run this year? Let's say that they go like 5-0, and then they start sputtering throughout the year, and then they finish strong, but then get absolutely obliterated in the playoffs again. Do you think how, do you think that'll fall on Kyler Murray if he plays like he did during the Rams or versus the Rams in that playoff game?
No. I think first of all, I think it's a coaching issue is when that happens. If it happens year after year after year, especially with different players, that's a coaching issue. And also, I don't really see that as a good example last year with that amazing Rams defense. That was incredible. We were watching with that playoff run.
All right. Anything else you want to add to the Kyler Murray thing?
I think he deserves the money. He's an athlete. He's a star. Watch him with the uprise. He's going to get a
I,
ring pretty soon here.
I
He's
don't.
going to get a ring pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I think you're capping on that. That's cap right there. I honestly think Kyler's just a smidge of a crybaby. Honestly, I don't know. It might just be me. I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
he quite. I don't think he quite deserves the money that people are talking about him getting.
yeah.
But I think that he should get paid. You know, good money,
hmm
just not what people are talking.
Oh yeah, he's going to get the money one way or another. It's just are the Cardinals going to be the one giving it to him?
Yeah.
Which I think the Cardinals should. They're this close to becoming a dominant team. They're this close to moving up to the next layer, the next tier of NFL teams with, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Cowboys.
So do you think Kyler's contract, do you think that'll affect like DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown in the future?
Oh yeah, yeah, I think it will. Because especially if this is a long contract worth a lot of money, then you have these players like DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown who are really good players, but they also need the money as well. Do the Rams have enough money? If they play it smart, then they will, and they'll continue to build their team, especially on defense, giving them more athletes to help them win the Super Bowl.
All right. Is that all you got for the Kyler Murray situation?
That's all I got.
All right. Next topic. Oh God, I hate this one so much, but it's talked about so much. All right, the Bills Super Bowl.
Yes, the Bills Super Bowl. Answer is yes.
You really think that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Bills are one of the best, if not the best team in the NFL. They're so dominant and amazing.
You think that
Like,
they're better than the Rams?
yeah. Yeah, probably. It's close, but yeah, probably. Especially since the Rams are losing a lot. Oh, they did re-sign Aaron Donald, didn't they?
Yes, Rams did resign Aaron Donald, but Bills
Yeah,
did get
that's
Von Miller.
that's close. The Bills are they're so tight with each other in the locker room and everything like that. Pause. I mean, they're just very close as a team. Like
Who do
Josh
you, who do you,
Allen, the entire
okay.
team and community and fans of Josh Allen stand behind him. And they really believe that he can do something great in Buffalo, which is absolutely what you want for a quarterback. And then they have a nice, solid running back who isn't greedy for money, and he can really do it all pretty moderately around. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can block, he can do it all. And the Bills' offensive line is pretty good, pretty solid. No problems, no complaints about it. And then what they also did geniusly by the Bills is that they surrounded Allen by stars. Because the only thing Allen struggles with is his decision making a little bit. He has the cannon to actually throw the ball of his decision making. If he gives him wide receivers who can run routes incredibly well, like Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, the new pickup this offseason, Khalil Shakir, then you create this unstoppable offense that they had last year. That's just immaculate. And then you surround them with a good defense that can back them up. That was what number one defense, number two defense last year, something like
I think
that,
it was number two.
by the
I'm gonna have to.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Oh gosh, not the Cowboys.
hmm
Oh, we're gonna do it this year. We're gonna win it all. Nope, never happens.
No,
All right,
but the
what
Bills.
team? What team do you think can compete with the Bills within the AFC?
Because in the AFC, I think the Chiefs again can compete with the Bills, although losing Tyreek Hill is just terrible, terrible for them.
Yeah,
So I think like they can
the
compete with
Tyreek.
him, but I still take the Bills. I'd still take the Bills in that situation if it was a head-on-head matchup. Another team I'd really look forward to seeing is the Titans and the Dolphins if they play the games right. I think all around the Bills are still a better team, but if the Titans and Dolphins can play the game right and they can control the game, then I think I would take the Titans or Dolphins possibly in a lucky scenario. With Derrick Henry running all over that Bills defense and the Titans defense just doing enough to contain Josh Allen, and the Bills offense or not the Bills offense, excuse me, the Dolphins offense who just picked up Tyreek Hill along with Jalen Waddle, who suddenly out of nowhere just appeared to be an amazing star the last few weeks last year. The Dolphins, again, as long as they play their cards right with Tua and the play calling, they can control the game, and then they can control the victory and the outcome of that game.
So, do you think that within the division, do you think it'll be an easy time for the Bills, or do you think that it'll be a struggle, but you know, they'll still
Oh,
be a
always
top
struggle for sure.
AFC?
Bills are a young team that's slowly getting better and better and better. They gain more and more experience. But we can't forget last year, they barely beat the Patriots in the division. Dolphins were far behind that, too. Like, the Bills just need to play more consistent, I think. Last year, their issue was that they would play amazing star-studded level, and then they would just fall to the ground the next week, like losing to the Jaguars.
Yeah,
Not
Josh
scoring a
Allen
single.
absolutely destroying Josh Allen.
Yeah, what are they doing? And they would turn around and dominate teams on the other end. If Bills can become more consistent and more, they just have more experience in the NFL, then they can be a real demolishing team that can sweep the division pretty easily, just take control over the Patriots and Dolphins.
So I'm gonna give you three teams, and I'm gonna ask if you think the Bills could beat them, to possibly in an AFC Championship or in the playoffs. So first, I want to talk about. I don't want to. I don't want to say that they're going to make it to the AFC Championship, but the Baltimore Ravens.
A lot of people are talking about the Baltimore Ravens. They struggled with injuries all last season. They're still around. They're still hanging out. They're a very good team all the way around. I would take the Bills in this scenario, as long as, again, they don't let the other team control the game. Because the Bills are very quick. They're very explosive with their offensive plays. The problem with that is they can't control the game very well. All they do is score points really fast, and then, hopefully the defense holds them. The Bills need to be better at controlling the game. If Lamar Jackson does the exact same thing Derrick Henry will and just mess around and just destroy them on the ground, then the Ravens could slip out with a cheeky little lucky win. But I'll take the Bills if it's a playoff matchup.
Okay, next we're going to talk about it. This is a big game last year, probably one of the best games I've ever seen. Besides that Chiefs Rams game, Bills and Chiefs. Bills got them in the regular season. Chiefs ended up getting them in the playoffs with 13 seconds left. Uh, so what do you think about Chiefs Bills? I know it's difficult with them losing Tyreek, but they did get Juju. They also got Justin Ross. He was undrafted. He was a undrafted free agent. And he's a solid wide receiver uh, out of Clemson. So how do you think that the Bills match up with the Chiefs? Do you think it's like a flip flop, or do you think Bills would take it?
Definitely back and forth. I think Bills take it. Last year, the Bills should have beat them twice. It was just a flip of a coin, and a few lucky plays the Chiefs pulled off. And, with losing Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes can't just sling it 60 yards down the field. I take Bills in this one now, mainly because of defense. Now, Chiefs defense is just struggling year after year after year until they can finally prove themselves. While the Bills defense, they have lockdown. Really, they do. They're just well all the way around.
All right. Well, something just happened. The stream says it's unavailable. It says it's suspended for Policy violations.
The stream is suspended?
Yeah. It says it was suspended for policy violations, but we're still going here on this. And it says that I'm still watching. Let me look at this real quick.
So it's suspended on YouTube, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. It says my stream's still running, so
On YouTube as well?
yeah, it's just saying that the stream's suspended. I don't know why.
Unavailable. Stream suspended for policy violations. Did you steal all those little clips?
Let's see. It's probably the Josh Allen stuff.
The Josh Allen stuff?
The Bills clips that I got.
Oh, the stuff you stole illegally?
It's probably from the. Oh no, we're back.
Poggers.
Huh. Copyright match. It says your stream was interrupted due to copyright match. So probably the Bills stuff because it's Sunday night. All right, we'll not be showing that again.
Nice.
All right, on to the next topic. Wait, real quick, I want to finish off with Bills real quick. Almost forgot. I want to talk about the Bengals, if they could beat the Bengals, the defending AFC champions.
The defending fluke.
So weird to say. The defending
Bills
AFC.
all day. Yeah, Bengals. Going to the next topic, like Bengals are just irrelevant now. Okay, I think it was a fluke. Honestly, Joe Burrow and Joe Shiesty was fun and everything, but the Bengals aren't real. The Bengals aren't serious. Okay, it was look. I mean, we go back to Joe Burrow's stats, and it's better to improve than not improve, obviously. But through Joe Burrow's first 12 games, he threw 14 interceptions. 14 interceptions in the first 12 games. That's guaranteeing an interception at least every single game, if not 2 every single game. That's just not what you want.
So do you think the Bengals will be in the playoffs next year?
Oh yeah, I mean, like the team's not falling apart now. They're gonna be in the playoffs, but they're not real. They're not legit. They're in the playoffs. Usually all games are really close, but they won 2 of them by game-winning field goals. They're not very good. They have all you need. Their offense is very, very simple too. You just need to shut down Jamar Chase, right? You just need to shut down Jamar Chase, and boom, all Joe Burrow can do is 4-yard checkdowns. Shut that down.
What about T. Higgins, though?
About T. Higgins? Ooh, T. Higgins. Pro Bowler right there, right? He's nothing.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. The Bengals offense can be shut down pretty easily. The Bengals defense, it's a little more complicated, but, I mean, they're not impossible to break through. I would still take the Bills in that matchup.
All right.
I would even take the Chiefs in that matchup, honestly.
So you think the Bengals will make the playoffs, but you don't think that they will end up winning?
They won't go far. Wild card or divisional at best.
All right. What's your this ain't official, but what's your record prediction this year?
For the Bengals?
Yeah.
In the regular season, I could see them walking away with 10 wins, 10-7. Nothing worse than 9-8. Definitely nothing worse than 9-8. But I could see them going from the 9-8 to probably a 12-4 stretch, where he has 12-5 stretch.
All right. Do you think that they have the best wide receiver core in the NFL?
No.
Okay, because
Next
PFF.
question. What a stupid question.
Because PFF
That's
ranked.
embarrassing.
I was just gonna say
No.
PFF
No.
ranked the Cincinnati Bengals as the number one receiving corps in the NFL.
Absolutely not. No, it's not even close. Absolutely not.
And then they ranked,
No.
and then they ranked the Buccaneers at number 2. Buccaneers at number 2, Dolphins at 3, and Eagles at 4.
What?
Yeah, that's PFF.
Really? I would almost take the Vikings wide receiver core over the Bengals.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious.
We're gonna have to do
depth-wise.
we're gonna have to do a ranking wide receiver cores because that is just trash.
That hurt just to listen to.
Yeah, PFF said that. PFF said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, it's. Let's see if I can find the wide receiver core rankings.
Really interesting to me how they ranked him that high because you have Jamar Jefferson, but again, like Joe Burrow, he just kind of blew up at the end of the season. It's not like he was very consistent and just dominant throughout the entire season. He was actually pretty bad at the beginning. He was dropping a lot of passes during the preseason, beginning of the season. Then again, like you said, they have T. Higgins, a mid quarterback or wide receiver.
Yeah, so right here they said Cincinnati Bengals number 1, right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed Tampa Bay 2. I don't understand how Tampa Bay is number 2 ranked. But yeah,
I can see it more in the Bengals. Like they have Mike Evans, who is an absolute star. He was the main reason why Johnny Manziel succeeded in college. And then they have Rob Gronkowski, which is the most dominant tight end this game's ever seen.
Gronkowski isn't there as of right now. Is he?
He could resign though. He could return.
Yeah, true. And then you got 3 Dolphins, 4 Eagles, and 5 Raiders. But
I like the Eagles selection a lot. The Eagles are really underrated on their wide receiver core. The Eagles have a fast and very, very good wide receiver core.
Yeah, that trade with the Titans and A.J. Brown just made them so much better.
Because what the Eagles had was just a lot of speed. They had Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner from 2020 out of Alabama. They had John Hightower, the speedy wide receiver from Boise State. But then adding their big, strong, physical wide receiver from Tennessee Titans, A.J. Brown, really is good for blocking up front if you want Jalen Hurts to do some quarterback draws. They're good if you just need 3 yards and you just need a big physical guy to go up and grab it and use his big old body, just throw guys on the ground. Like the Eagles wide receiver core, I think in my opinion is top 3 in the NFL.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic here. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Very controversial. Very, very controversial.
So what do you think the Packers are going to do with Jordan Love? Now that
I think they're going to drop him.
Deal, what are they going to do?
Because, yeah, Rodgers re-signed that big deal, meaning I bet they're just going to drop him once his contract expires in, 2023, 2024? He joined the Packers in 2020, right? Or was it 2019?
Yes. It was 2020, yeah, because that was his first year. So, yeah, he was in that class.
Yeah, so he joined in 2020, meaning 2023 is going to be his last year under the 4-year rookie contract. I think they're just going to let him go. That's, I think, the logical thing to do is, it's the Packers. Probably they won't do that because why not, right? But I feel like just Jordan Love, I've never been really wowed by him. I've never really bought into the hype. I've never really seen why he's a first-round pick or why he gets all this attention ever since he was at Utah State. Like, he's solid. He's all right. Again, like some of the other quarterbacks, he'll get the job done. But I just don't see him becoming a starter in the NFL. I don't see him becoming a real legit player in the National Football League. So if I was the Packers, I would drop him, stop letting him become a waste, and just save the money for someone else until Packers finally recovers. Rodgers recovers.
If a team offered you money to go get, if a team offered you like a trade to go get Jordan Love, let's say like a 3rd-round pick, and you were the Packers, would you take that?
Just a 3rd-round pick for Jordan Love?
a third round pick and let's say like a fourth and like a seventh. I don't know. Just being random out there.
I want a little more than that. I want like a little decent wide receiver out there. Someone who's not amazing, but just like solid, like T.
Sure.
Higgins.
So you'd want like a
I would,
player as well out of that trade.
yeah, I would need a player, not just draft picks. I would take like T. Higgins and a fifth or something. I completely see that as a win for a trade. Or like I would give up a fifth and take T. Higgins. I think that's a win.
All
Or
right.
like take Hunter Renfro but give up Jordan Love and give up a second. I like that.
Where do you think Jordan Love would best fit outside of the Green Bay Packers? You got
Anywhere?
the Atlanta Falcons who have Desmond Ritter and Marcus Mariota, and
Yeah, I
depending
would
on
do that.
how that shakes out, because I don't think it's gonna happen in a couple of years. So like thinking of teams that would need a quarterback, possibly the Titans,
Hmm.
the Falcons,
Titans, Titans could use
Seahawks,
one.
and
Seahawks, depending on what to do with Baker Mayfield, yeah, I think the Seahawks are good,
uh,
legit worth that.
possibly Panthers, and maybe even Browns, depending on how
I
the
could
whole
see,
Deshaun Watson thing goes.
I could even see it happening to the 49ers too if Trey Lance is legit. Like people still don't realize Trey Lance, we have not seen anything out of him. He played at the FCS level at North Dakota State. FCS level, and he played what 21 games, 29 games, something like that. Because of COVID, his career cut short. He played barely 2 seasons. He just and he doesn't have a lot of proof. He hasn't played anything in the NFL yet because he's been sitting behind Tony Garoppolo. So if he doesn't work out in the 49ers, take in Jordan Love. He can get the job done. He can get it off to George Kittle. He can scramble. What I love about Jordan Love is that he can scramble a lot. He looks like a mini Deshaun Watson out there.
So, so you think that you think a team, if they're in a rebuilding situation, would take Jordan Love as their quarterback while
Yeah,
they're rebuilding and see if they have something in him?
yeah, yeah. I would use Jordan Love as a little bit as a quarterback, just as like a secondary option, as long as he's not asking for too much money. If he's asking for some ridiculous number, then no. Like he just doesn't have that. We know he's good factor, right? So I would take like a quarterback from the draft and Jordan Love, like the Falcons did with Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ritter. Someone who's really young, straight out of college, and someone who's decent at the NFL that has a little bit of experience as a backup
So,
option.
so here's a question: Jordan Love or Trey Lance?
Hmm, that's a good one. That's really good. They're really equal players by their play style, by basically their age, not far from each other, by what we know from their skill level. I would probably take Trey Lance just because Trey Lance was crazy in college. He only played a few games, but those few games he put up unreal numbers. So I'd probably take Trey Lance, but I wouldn't be mad at a team or be confused by them if they took both players. That's why I say he was a serious option to the 49ers when Jimmy Garoppolo leaves.
All right. Now we got one more thing to talk about. This is kind of your bread and butter here.
Yes,
We're going to talk about overhyped college football
college
teams.
football teams. Number one team that comes to mind right now, the University of Utah Utes out of Salt Lake City. They come off probably one of their most successful seasons ever in just school history, right? They come out of nowhere. They go 9-3, I believe it was in the regular season. Go to the Pac-12 championship. They embarrass Oregon, right? They embarrass Oregon in Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium, and they go on to their first ever Rose Bowl and to play a very well-known school, Ohio State, who wasn't far from the college football playoff, and compete with them all the way to the final drive, and honestly had a serious chance of winning it. Like that's just an amazing season. But the thing is that as much as a local fan of the Utah Utes, and I kind of like them a little bit, as much as it hurts me to say, they're very overrated and very overhyped heading to the college football season. They finally got the respect they deserve, but people are looking at them as a top 5 team in the college football. They looked at them as a serious college football playoff team. They're not. I wish they are. I hope they are, but they're not. They lost quite a bit of players. They lost a first round linebacker to the NFL, and I feel like they got lucky since USC's been dead for a few years. Oregon lost all their players. All their players were freshmen, sophomores, and a few juniors last year. And I just feel like they had a little bit of an easy schedule, an easy ride into the college football playoffs this last year. Or not the college football playoff, into the Rose Bowl this last year. I think it was a fluke. I don't think the school is going to just disappear suddenly. They're still going to be around. They still could make the college football playoff many years from now. But they're just expecting another typical Utah season. 9-3, pretty solid, pretty happy. Losses to Oregon, USC, and like Florida, right? Week 1, they go into the swamp. That's a loss.
All right. Okay. We'll talk about one of my overhyped teams. I think is USC. You mentioned them.
Whoa.
I think USC is overhyped. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I mean they got Caleb Williams. They also got Lincoln Riley.
Yep.
But I think they're overhyped. I don't know if they're going to be able to put it all together and put in a good season and possibly make the playoffs. I just don't think they're that good. I think that they'll get somewhere close, but I do not think that they're going to be in the playoffs and be. I don't even know about even being in the. I don't know. It could go either way, but right now I feel like they're overhyped.
Where do you see them finishing then?
Top of the Pac-12.
So Pac-12 champion?
Yeah, and then probably like I want to say 15, 16 range in the polls.
Okay, that's pretty low for a Pac-12 champion. So I feel like it's going to be close. They're barely going to win the Pac-12, is what you're saying.
Yes, they're barely going to win the Pac-12. And
I think it's overhyped then. A lot of people are saying Utah is going to win the Pac-12. So I think most people are rating USC. And I can completely respect it. I'd actually have USC higher than that because the main thing is they're not just getting a bunch of random star athletes. They're getting star athletes that we know are successful. We know that they are good at the sport of football. We get Lincoln Riley, who was able to become very, very dominant in Oklahoma. He stepped in the college football playoff, but I mean, he basically didn't ever lose a Big 12 game. He won, 5 or 6 straight Oklahoma Big 12 championships. And then you have Caleb Williams, the very, very young freshman quarterback out of Oklahoma who just transferred to USC.
I think he froze up. All right. Let's just do this real quick until he gets back on here. So, let's see. You there? All right, now. All right. We'll talk about my overhyped teams as we wait for him to hopefully join back in with us. Number 2, Alabama. No, I'm just kidding. Number 2, I would have to say for overhyped teams. I want to say BYU. I think BYU is overhyped. I mean, they're going to the Big 12, but I think that they're overhyped. Last year and the year prior, they were solid, but they were solid, but they were not that great, if that makes sense. Let me take away this. Stream's been going in and out for some reason. I don't understand why. Because that video that I put up was my own video. But who knows? Who knows? Looks like Aiden is not here. Let me just text and see. All right, he should be in a minute. Hopefully we can get him in. But as we were waiting, I will play this. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the House of Hell. And if I catch you coming back my way, I'm gonna sell it to you. That ain't what you want to hear, but that's what I'll do. Anything is coming from my bones. All right. Still has not joined yet. I've texted him. I do not know what is going on right now, but I will just wrap up what we've been talking about uh, recently. Um, so we talked about running backs' importance, the Baker trade, Kyle Murray contract situation, the Bills Super Bowl, where the Bengals will be next year, what the Packers are going to do with Jordan Love, and overhyped college football teams. Didn't get to go all through the overhyped college football teams, but that is the majority of them. So yeah, I don't know why this stream has been going in and out. It says it's been suspended for policy violations. So I will look into that and see what is going on. But outside of that, yeah, that is it. Aiden kind of left us early, but we will be back here sooner than later. I don't know when exactly that'll be. I'll try to get a schedule up here soon. Wait a minute. He's back. He's back.
So I got a background too,
Wait, so what happened?
Happy Valley. I don't know. Just my computer lost connection, and I think it was my HD quality little webcam thing I got. It just wasn't working for a minute, so I don't know. It was completely my Wi-Fi connection, and then my HD quality camera webcam wasn't working at all. So weird, wild, crazy world we live in. Absolutely nutty. But I'm back. I got bored, so I got a cool green screen behind me. I like it. It's cool. Since you're in the college football topic already, how it is.
All right. Do you want to continue with the college football teams? The overhyped teams?
Good? Everything good? We good now?
Yeah, we're good. The stream's acting weird right now too. So all right. Do you want to continue with the overhyped college football teams?
All right. We good? We still good?
Yeah, we're good. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. It's not working.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You're very, very...
And I think he left us again, ladies and gentlemen. All right. He left us again. So, looks like he's not here anymore. Anyway, I'll continue with finishing up this stream. Oh, wait. He's back. He's back.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. I can't even say anything. As soon as I joined, suddenly you were just very, very spotty to me. Oh.
All right. Sure you there?
Another screen. Yep, I'm here.
All right. Let's see how long this one lasts. Okay. Let's continue with the overhyped college
round
football
3.
teams.
Hopefully we got this one.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll go again. Want me to stay him off another team?
Yeah, just one more.
You want me to go off another team?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go with the University of Michigan Wolverines out of Ann Arbor. Okay.
Ooh.
I had the quite pleasure this spring going out to Ann Arbor myself and seeing this team play. I also got a cool halftime performance of Colin Kaepernick. It was a free game, and I want my money back. This team sucks. Okay. This team is just they. I know they had an amazing season. You know, they went to the college football playoff. They went to the Orange Bowl. They lost by 31 to Georgia. You know, they just got destroyed. Okay, and they're losing a lot of their very very valuable players, especially on defense. Okay, and they're also losing their starting running back, right? And there's they're not going to be the amazing team and the lucky team they had last year. They're not going to be like what the Cincinnati Bengals were last year. Just this fun team, everybody's kind of cheering for it just for fun. But they're just going to go back to their normal selves of going 10-2, 9-3 every single year, right? Especially since this last year, Ohio State had a very young team, very inexperienced team, and now Ohio State has more experience on them. And this year they're headed back to Columbus to play in the big game. I just don't see Michigan repeating what they just did this last year, the miracle they had. I see them, probably finishing third or fourth in the Big Ten overall, second or third in their division. They're still going to be a historically nice franchise, 9-3, 10-2 every single year. They're just going to keep on going slower and slower, down, more and more for the rest of time, probably. Very,
Right.
very overhyped.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's who I was gonna say as well. So, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
You're still going to say Michigan as well?
Yes. Yes.
It was fun but spotty the last few minutes, but it was great being here.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, well, we'll get out of here reaching about an hour. Dang, an hour. Ooh.
Their limit. We're out of time. Pretty good episode this week.
All right.
Shout out to Lindsay Sports, best sports magazine you can buy out there on the market. Okay. Dead serious about that too. Galactics, they have them Barnes and Noble. That's it. But amazing magazine. Best one I've ever bought. Okay. I've bought them every single year for 5 years in a row now. By the way, big news, more of a personal reason. I'm reaching on 10 years now. Count them. 10 years of watching college football. 10 years. This is going to be my 10th season. 10th season. I'm feeling old. 10 years ago in 2013, there's a little version of myself watching Johnny Manziel and Jameis Winston on Saturday evenings, just destroying kids. And now we're watching Hank Bachmeier ruin my entire mental state.
Yeah, honestly. Ooh.
But there's an hour, and got to be here. I'm out of here.
All right, see ya. All right, so that was the first episode of the podcast. We'll be doing this either sometime this week or next week. It just all depends on how everything goes and how everything pans out. Sometimes it'll be me, sometimes it'll be just him. It'll be both of us too. But yeah, so that'll be it. I don't know why his stream was so spotty, but I will look into that. But all right, thank you guys for watching this. This will also be uploaded to the YouTube channel of Zero Blitz Podcast. So yeah, see you guys all in the next live stream. Out. Peace.